Hello, welcome back to the Villa View. It's time for a match preview for Villa's trip to Wigan this Saturday.
So Dan, we'll get straight into it. Wigan against Aston Villa on Saturday. What are you feeling about this game?
I think it needs to be the catalyst to go on some form of winning run now. I mean, I think Wigan are bottom of the form guide at the moment. I don't know whether that's a good thing or not, to be fair, but it feels like one that we should go there and win if we're at our best, which we haven't been recently. I think the whole place is a bit revitalised by the Tammy news. I think everyone was on a bit of a downer thinking that he was going to go. Obviously, his goals are irreplaceable. Yeah. I would say we've now been boosted. Dolan said in the podcast it's a bit like a new signing. So I think we go there with a tinge of confidence now, although obviously we're coming off the back of a pretty rank defeat in the FA Cup.
Yeah, because you sort of look at those past fixtures where you go, okay, this is the start where Villa can go on and run, and you have Preston, QPR and a cup game, and you think, okay, well, probably you'd like 3 wins there, and to get 2 draws and a defeat in the FA Cup, you just sort of look at it and go, we're wasting opportunities already, and you do need to, I mean, we say it every game, but you need to start winning at some point, and these games now where you look at them as easier fixtures, we can't keep drawing games anymore.
Away games, our away form's been pretty good, so I can forgive a point at Preston, to be fair, bearing in mind the fact that a few days earlier we'd gone to Swansea and won. So I think you can forgive an away point there. It's not necessarily a bad point.
That's
away
a busy
from home
period as well.
It's the home games. I can't remember the last time we won at home, to be honest. It feels like a long time ago. When was it? I don't know whether you can tell me.
I won't know without checking, but I'll put it up on screen now, whatever it was.
It feels like a long time ago. We had a series of 2-2 draws, and obviously we didn't hold on to the 2-2 against Leeds, and we lost 3-2. So I'm guessing it's either the start of December or end of November since we won a home game. So
yeah,
it's all coincided with Jack being out, but we do need to start picking up points again, and 3 points on Saturday would be a good chance to start a good run of form, I would say.
I'm just looking at Wigan's form now. You mentioned their terrible form guide. FA Cup defeat Sheffield United at home before that 3-0. Swansea 2, Wigan 2, Albion 2, Wigan 0. That was on Boxing Day. Before that, Birmingham beat them 3-0, and before that, Ipswich beat them 1-0. So that's 6 games there with 1 draw in it. But like you say, you look at that as classic Aston Villa style, a team bottom of the form guide. Probably 3 points for them, isn't it, on Saturday now?
I mean, if they're losing to Ipswich, who have just never, ever got going this season, and now Paul Lambert's come in, and there's just no way he's going to turn it around. There's too much to do. There's not enough quality there. But remember when we went to Ipswich in September, I think they were probably bottom of the form guide. They'd made a terrible start. Yeah. We go there and draw 1-1, playing against 10 men for an hour or 70 minutes, whatever it was. So they will have to win a game at some point. Let's just hope it doesn't start this Saturday.
Yeah, again, looking at some of the stats as well, since that December sticky period they've only scored 3 goals, conceded 14. You're scoring 3 goals over, I think it's 7 games. Everything points to, without jinxing it, Villa going to whatever their ground's called these days and beating them 3 or 4-0.
No, but without coming across too negative, because I don't really like to be like that. If I was Wigan, I'd be thinking, if you look through the Championship at the moment and there was a defence you wanted to face,
true.
I'd argue Villa might be up there because we have let in a lot of goals. On paper, the defence, there's some good players there, but as a unit, really, it's not been working because we've been shipping too many goals. Although saying that, we've been better defensively away from home. It seems to be Villa Park where we can't pick up a clean sheet to save our lives. I think I said it last time we did a preview, but I'm confident going into this game.
Why is that? Why are we better now away from home? Years gone by, you look at the away form and go, oh, pretty much write Villa off from that, and the home form is where we pick up points, but it seems to have been the opposite of that, particularly this season and under Dean Smith as well. I
really don't know. I mean, do teams come and have a go at us a little bit more when you're playing away from home, which gives you more space? But I'd say, like, for example, Stoke, they came to Villa Park with no fear whatsoever and attacked us and caused us problems. Same with Leeds. They attacked us, caused us issues. I wasn't at the game on Saturday in the FA Cup, and obviously it's a shadow squad, but they've obviously done some attacking to score 3 goals. I do think the crowd play a part. In some ways, you'll get more leeway with the away fans. I think they're the proper hardcore. They have a bit more patience at times. At home, I spoke about this in the podcast, that sometimes when it's a full house, it isn't people that go every week, and there's a big expectation there, and sometimes I think the pressure gets to the players, and it can be an uncomfortable place to play at times, Villa Park. So I don't know whether that's something to do with it over Christmas, because again, that's when it seems to have turned. There's definitely more pressure when we play at home. Whereas when we're away, it does feel like we play with a bit more freedom.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to know a lot about Wigan, but looking at their top scorers list, you got Will Grigg who's on 4, but Nick Powell scored 4, assisted 4. Is he the one that we should be looking out for on Saturday now?
I mean, without being disrespectful, I mean, obviously it is disrespectful because I'm coming on a preview knowing absolutely nothing about Wigan. Obviously, I know about Grigg and I know about Nick Powell, but they're on bad form, so you're not hearing anything about any of their players.
True.
Because, from my point of view, they're not on TV very much, so there's no chance for me to ever see them play. They're not on good form, so you can't say, such and such is in good form because you've just said they've scored 3 goals in 7 games or whatever it was. All I know is that when they came to Villa Park, I thought they were decent. They came and played on the front foot and they were playing with no fear, which quite often happens when a team comes up from League One at the start of it in the Championship. They kind of play with no fear and pick up where they've left off, but they've hit a bit of a rut now that they need to get out of. But Paul Cook's done a really good job there. He's popular at Wigan by all accounts, but I always think this is one of those games. There's a lot of Villa fans there. There's over 4,000 there. We'll have a whole end, so the Villa fans kind of take over, don't they? And I think in that kind of game, it gives the players a boost. I mean, a couple of years ago, we went there and won. We won 2-0, didn't we? Hogan scored his first goal, and it was just all Villa fans in that end. So I'm feeling positive about it. If I was a Wigan fan, I'd be quite worried. I fancy Tammy to score. It's just whether we can get that defence sorted out, and if it's like it has been in most away games, we'll be okay. As individuals, I love Bjarnason, McGinn and Horahan, but the last couple of games, that hasn't really worked with them playing there. So I think Lansbury coming in might have freshened it up a little bit. So it's a disappointment to see him injured. It sums up his Villa tenure. Anytime you think he's going to get near the team, he gets injured again. So that's a blow. I was reliably informed that I'd been saying Courtney Hawes' name wrong the whole way through the podcast on Tuesday night, so that was really good. I don't expect him to come straight in, so defensively I expect it to be Elphick and Chester at centre backs and Hutton and Taylor at full backs, but even just having Neil Taylor back gives me a bit more hope. When Hutton and Taylor were full backs when Smith first came in, he settled on a back 4 pretty quickly. Obviously Twanzebe instead of Elphick, and he went with that back 4, and it seemed whatever happened, that was what he was going to do, and we did suddenly get a bit more solid, and Taylor does offer some balance down that side purely by being left-footed, and Alan Hutton's better at right back than he is at left back, so I think we'll see Hutton back at right back. I think we'll see Taylor at left back. Personally, I'm not 100% convinced by Elphick and Chester as a partnership. Again, I like them both as individuals. Chester's my favourite player, so I love James Chester to bits, but as a partnership, I just think they're a bit similar. I don't see either one of them as a dominant one, and I think we're going to get hit aerially a bit more than we would do in certain games by Wigan. So that's a concern.
See, I think, just as you were talking through it then, I think Hawes might start.
Do you think?
I think it might be in place of Chester.
No chance.
I just don't think, because he's got this niggling injury, I feel like if there's a game you could probably get away with letting him miss another one, it's Wigan. Just because if going on recent form, they don't score goals. So they're having a bit of a makeshift defence, if you like, or one that we're not used to anyway. I think we'd be able to get away with it a bit more. Having said that, Elphick is usually the one that gets binned off, that he was brought back in as backup, and Hawes and Chester forged their partnership in their first game. Or you let Chester have another week off and try and get rid of this niggling injury, whatever it is, and you chuck Elphick and Hawes in together.
I'm going to presume that Hawes has played some form of under-23s football in the last 18 months. Maybe you're right, maybe he will come in. I wouldn't be against that, but I'd be surprised if he was chucked straight in.
Yeah, but we've done that in the past, haven't we?
Yeah.
More so with Bruce, I suppose, but McGinn came straight into the team. Goalkeepers have done the same thing, so like I say, I wouldn't be massively shocked if that happened, but again, if it's Elphick and Chester, if you can't play Hawes because of fitness reasons or whatever, you've got to play those two because there's no one else that will play there.
Part of me just thinks that if you're doing that, you've got a new goalkeeper. Taylor's not played much in the last month. Elphick's only pretty much just come back, so it's like it's just a lot of new people altogether. I'm never sure about doing that. Maybe I'm just a bit conservative, but I'm just never sure about when you do things like that. People who haven't played for a while and people that haven't played together. We saw in the FA Cup, if you throw a load of people together, the result isn't good.
Again, this is disrespectful to Wigan, but I look at their last 6 games, see they're not scoring goals, and think we can probably get away with mixing up the back 4 a little bit just to give Chester an extra rest. If you're chucking in Chester and Hawes together, I mean, you all you're doing there is you're going like, this is our first our first choice centre back pairing now. Let's let them play together and build up a partnership.
Yeah.
But if Elphick does play, so be it. I mean, there's nothing you can do. It's probably more so the wing back or the full backs where the issue is. Who plays right back? Does James Breed deserve to not have a chance there? Does Hutton move over? What's happening to El Mohamed?
I'd be shocked if it wasn't Hutton at right back. To be honest, just going by what he did when he first came in, he picked his 2 fullbacks, and those were the 2 fullbacks. I think he'll want to until he gets someone new in, I think he'll want to go back to that. I get what you're saying with Hawes though, because at some point he's going to have to play. And under 23s football is no substitute for league football. So even if we give him a couple of under 23s games, it's nothing compared to the hustle and bustle of the Championship. So either way, I think it's a risk. Either way, it could go well, if that makes sense. I'm not sure he does.
Every game in the Championship is big anyway, but this feels big in that you almost want to say must win, because
I think it is must win.
We need to win at some point, and a lot of the teams above us are playing each other this weekend as well. I haven't looked through who's playing who, but I've heard that 5 of the 6 are playing each other or something. I don't know, whatever it is. This is a weekend where we can capitalise on a few teams if we win. So I'd like to go to Wigan and beat 3 or 4-0 convincing and go, okay, we're Villa and making a statement now.
I mean, let's go for the win by all means, but coming on here and saying 3 or 4-0, Roller, you've turned into Chris Dolan.
I'm just looking at these fixtures now. You've got West Brom and Norwich play each other, Sheffield United and QPR play each other, and Leeds play Derby. If you just go there and win, however you can do it, you're going to pick up points on at least 3 teams there.
Yeah, okay, now you've told me who's playing each other. I'm going to dub it. I don't do this very often. I would dub it as a must-win then.
Just getting back to form, forgetting what everyone else is doing, because we can sit here and analyse who plays who, but if Villa aren't winning games, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's dropping points. Leeds have dropped a few points over Christmas. Norwich have dropped a few, but we've not beat QPR and Preston, who everyone would have looked at sort of, 6 weeks ago and gone, right, that's the start of where Villa just start annihilating teams, and we've not done it. So we can look at who plays who all we like, but unless Villa are going to win against Wigan, I don't really care.
Very reasonable, Roller. Very reasonable.
Dan, you said it's a must-win game. Give me a scoreline. What do you think's going to happen?
I will say 2-1 to the Villa.
I mean, I've already said I want to go there and win 3 or 4-0 now, so I'm going to go with the same. I'm going to go 3-0, just because they've had a couple of 3-0s at their place recently, 3-0 defeats. They don't score goals. I mean, this is all set up now to come back and bite us, and they beat us 2-0 themselves, but I look at this game as being different to the others that we've played so far, and just going, we've just got to go there and win. And if we can win comfortably, I'll be happy, man.
Yeah, I'm going 2-1, Tammy Brace.
That would make a lot of people very happy over the last couple of weeks of the Tammy Abraham saga.
So that's it for today's match preview. If you have enjoyed this video, then make sure you're giving it the thumbs up and comment below with your thoughts ahead of the Wigan Athletic game on Saturday afternoon. If you're not already subscribed to the Villa View with your post notifications on, then if you could do that, that really helps the channel grow. We really, really appreciate all the support. The podcast is still obviously available and still relevant ahead of the Wigan game, so make sure you're checking that out. It sits at around 1 hour and 15 minutes somehow. I'm not sure why the podcasts are getting longer, but make sure you're checking that out. We've had some really, really positive feedback around the podcast this week. We really, really appreciate all the comments. We do read them all, even if we don't get back to every single one of them. Fingers crossed for the 3 points. We'll be back with some videos next week. Up the Villa. If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.